here to show you how to work with a new product manufactured by Edible Supply. It is edible cake paint. It's cocoa butter based, so it needs to be heated. Here I have hot water. I actually have my hot water on a hot tray, and I sit my bottles in boiling water. I boil the water first, then add it to my container, and then put my bottles of cake paint into it. The more bottles you have, the hotter the water needs to be. I have 9 colors here, and I sit it in the boiling water for approximately 2 minutes. Put the lid on, give it a shake. That tempers the cocoa butter and helps the color in there to mix well with the cocoa butter. Now I'm actually going to hand paint. Here I have a fondant design that I cut out using the patchwork cutters. The fondant that I'm working with is the R-Color fondant. It works really well, has a lovely taste. I've created my design, and now I'm going to work with the Atico brushes, the fine food grade Atico brushes. It's important to make sure that you use food grade brushes so that the bristles don't come out in the paint. I'm going to work with red. Christmas is around the corner, and here I have my red paint. Dip your brush into the cake paint and just gently paint over your roses. And I'm going to do this just very quickly, a light coating. You have the outline from the cutter, which makes it very easy to work with. Make sure that you go around the edges. Just spread it out. It's great to work with. It's very simple to handle, and you can layer it. This is what I really like about working with this as opposed to working with airbrush colors, is the fact that you can build up on it and you can mix your colors and create light on top of dark. You can't do that with airbrush colors. You have to work from light to dark. Well, with these you can actually start off with your dark, just like you're working with oil paints, and add your highlights afterwards. The more you work it in, the thicker it becomes, because it's beginning to dry. It's beginning to set up as it dries, and therefore you can build it up, create veins and a textured look. So once you've layered it on and you have it nice and thick, you can then go back with a tool and scrape your veins in. Working with a Dresden tool, I'm going to scrape my design and my veins into my flowers. Scratch it in. And the great thing is, if you go to an area that you don't want to have color, you can actually go back with your tool and remove it. Keep a piece of paper towel in your hand so that you can clean your tool. And if you look carefully here, you can see that I'm actually scraping some of the cocoa butter away from the center of the flower using my Dresden tool. So I'm going to have it a lot darker on the outer edge, which will give it dimension. And I'm scraping away some of the cocoa butter in the center. I'm going to come in with yellow, and this is going to give me my highlights and my shadows. I'm now going to work with yellow. Dip your brush in and make sure that my brush is clean. You don't have to use a new brush for every color. You can just wipe the cocoa butter out of the bristles. Coming in with yellow and stroking upwards. Work with your green and build up your leaves. Don't forget to go around the outside. These are holly leaves, so the green needs to be nice and dark. I have a little bit of red on this leaf, and just by going over it with the green it will melt it away. I'm going to take a little dab of red to darken the green. On the tips. You can see how that will bring out the veined effect. Now I'm going to add a little bit of gold to the middle. Yes, we have gold cocoa butter. Stir it with the end of my brush. Can you see the gold? This is going to really add some beautiful highlights. With a little gold in the center. And then just dab it with your brush. Add a little gold to your leaves. Take a little bit of paper towel, roll up a little point, just dab that up and down to get your texture. Bit of paper towel and dab up and down to get your texture. I'm going to work with this tool to scrape in here to define the texture of the center a little more. And I'm just lifting the cocoa butter. Actually, I'm going to use yellow and then put the gold on top. Work with a little white to create your highlights. Give your flowers a little light to the tips. And then I'm going to finish off with a little bit more gold in the middle. Let that dry. Working with just a plain brush, I'm just going to soften the cocoa butter surface so that it's nice and smooth. And there is your design. A great design that you can take off your board and put onto your cake. You can make these ahead of time, make up little plats and add them to your cakes. Awesome cake decorations.